Welcome to the Lost Mine of Phandelver. I am Bob.
And I am Grace.
Yes, the Grace World Destroyer to my Bob World Builder. So we're going to start by just having Grace here. You can introduce your character.
This mysterious individual wears only a periwinkle blue sheet with a mask and wrist and ankle bangles that just look like woven twigs. Two small antlers protrude from the top of the head area, which the sheet covers. Well, the sheet doesn't cover the antlers. The antlers stick out of the
poke
sheet.
Through it. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so the arms and legs stick out too. It's kind of a short sheet.
Right.
But the skin is powder blue.
Did you say what color the sheet was?
Periwinkle.
Nice. And what's periwinkle like for viewers like me who aren't good with colors?
It's kind of like a purplish blue.
Okay. Nice. Is it soft?
Oh yeah, it's soft.
Okay. And now, do they have like a belt that keeps the
Nope.
sheet? Okay. So it's more like a big, like conically shaped.
Picture a ghost costume.
Right. Okay.
But only like mid-thigh. And it's kind of shorter on the sides so the arms can stick out.
Nice. Yeah, so it is like a big poncho without a hole for your head.
Yes.
Okay. Great. So, in the city of Neverwinter, a dwarf named Gundren Rockseeker asked you... Oh, I don't think you told us your character's name.
Spectre.
Gundren Rockseeker asked you, Spectre, to bring a wagon load of provisions to the rough and tumble settlement of Phandalin, a couple of days' travel southeast of the city. Gundren was clearly excited and more than a little secretive about his reasons for the trip, saying only that he and his brothers had, quote, found something big, and that he'd pay you 10 gold pieces for escorting his supplies safely to Barthen's Provisions, a trading post in Phandalin. He then set out ahead of you on a horse, along with a warrior escort named Sildar Hallwinter, claiming he needed to arrive early to, quote, take care of business. And while this job, paying a mere 10 gold pieces, might not be too attractive to an adventurer of your status, mind you listeners, we are starting out here at level 2, being that she's a...
That means I'm a big shot.
Yeah, being that they're a mostly solo character, although you haven't described your sidekick yet, we'll get there in a minute. Spectre is also interested in this because you have a wanted poster on your person somewhere on your sheet.
Yes, and this wanted poster attracted my eye when my companion Smooch the Tressum, which is a flying cat for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, little cat with feathery wings.
Kind of pawed at it as we passed the bounty board or whatever in town, and indicated that she would really like to hunt the black spider.
Yes, an equally mysterious character, a villain known throughout Neverwinter for all sorts of dark and deadly crimes, surely, who is known to have traveled south out of the city recently.
Smooch refused to say exactly why she wanted to hunt the black spider, but with Smooch, you know it's serious. She can really hold a grudge.
Yeah. As soon as Smooch saw that poster, she just went... So you spent the last few days traveling south on the high road out of Neverwinter, basically Gandalf entering the Shire style. You're just on a cart, carrying these goods with your huge
pipe,
wizard
which just
pipe.
like glued to my mask.
Single pony in front of you, leading the cart. And you've just veered east onto the Tribor Trail, knowing you are now not far from Phandalin, but also knowing that this territory can be dangerous. Bandits and outlaws have been known to lurk along the trail. And just as this thought of coming danger lurks into your mind, as you come around a bend, you notice that the woods press close to the trail here, with a steep embankment and dense thickets on either side, and you spot 2 dead horses sprawled in the path about 50 feet ahead of you. Each one has a black feathered arrow sticking out of it. What do?
Smooch, do you think this is a trap?
And Smooch's little nose sniffs the air. She definitely seems alert.
I also remain alert as I do a quick sweep. Do I see anything?
Why don't you make a perception check?
10.
Actually, and keeping your passive perception in mind here.
My passive is
quite
16.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, at the very least, have you progressed forward at all? Or
I'm
soon
still
you stop
seated on
as
the
you-
cart.
Okay. So seated on the cart, about 50 feet from these dead horses in the trail, you scan the low cliff sides on either side and see, hiding among the thickets and trees there, just kind of peeking out, 3 goblins. 2 on your left, 1 on your right, ready with some kind of perhaps throwing weapons in their hands.
Throwing weapons.
Yes.
All right. Is there any way that... No, I mean, they're watching me, aren't they? They can see me. I can see them seeing me.
They all look toward another spot in the thickets near them, and then from that spot, a single black feathered arrow strikes your pony, and it reels back, shaking the cart. Roll initiative.
20.
So you're going to act first. What do you do?
I leap from the cart,
Whoa.
drawing my ninjato from beneath my sheet.
What's a ninjato?
It is a short ninja sword with a
Awesome.
straight blade.
Sweet. We're on the same page here. Grace and I have been watching a lot of Naruto, but you go ahead.
I want to run toward the initial attack.
Yeah, it looks like the cliffs are rocky enough that you could probably scale up there.
I place my ninjato between my teeth and begin scaling the cliff.
Okay, leap from the cart to the cliff. Remember, you were about 50 feet away from these guys.
I have 40 feet of movement, though.
Whoa.
If I'm climbing, it's
Okay. Yeah, so
half.
you can like easily half the distance to them. We'll say you're about.
Ooh, I can spend a key point
Whoa.
to dash.
I don't even think we said you were a monk yet, but yeah.
Right, I'm a monk. I feel like the ninja sword was kind of the thing, and the whole like
maybe a
no
giveaway.
armor. But yeah, okay. So I very monkily use a key point.
Like a monkey.
I will attack first with my ninjato. 12.
12 hits.
Do my second unarmed attack right off the bat. Roll all the damage together. A 19.
Yeah, these guys are very weak. So you immediately.
I behead it first,
yeah.
and then I push it off the cliff.
Yeah, you leapt from the cart, scaled up the cliffside, through the thickets, and just immediately cut this one down before it could even draw. What you now see is basically a small bladed disc, much like a ninja star, you might say, just clacks to the ground in front of you as their body tumbles down the cliff, meeting the dead horses below. Now, up here, you can see that there is Goblin with a bow, with another black arrow drawn right before you, and that one is going to back away from you, as it was pretty close to the other one. So disengaging as a bonus action, and then action, release that arrow towards you. Well, yeah, with a 23, that's a hit. And so this one deals 4 piercing damage to you as it sinks a black feathered arrow into you, and from across the way, these other 2 goblins are going to try throwing some of their little shuriken your way. But that's a 12 and a 17 to hit.
Nope.
So both of those miss. Shing, shing, shing. Some small blades stick at the trees near you. Back to your turn.
I rush toward them, and I slice the first one with my sword.
Yep, so this is the one with the bow that's on the same side as you.
7.
Oh, with just a 7, that's still a miss. But is Smooch doing anything?
Oh yeah, Smooch, take cover, because she's only got 7 hit points. I don't want her to die. But then I will use my unarmed strike. 22.
Okay, and that's a hit.
8 points of damage.
Yes, and with another clean swipe, you actually break through the bow that they meekly tried to hold up to defend themselves, and it just snaps, snapping that black feathered arrow with it.
With my hand.
Oh yeah, that was an unarmed strike.
Yeah.
I forgot. Okay. And then 2 more of these little shuriken fly across the gulch, if that's a word. And let's see, 19 and 9 to hit. Okay, so one of them does a whopping 3 piercing damage as it pierces your sheet. But then you hear a bunch of scurrying on the other cliffside there, and it seems like they're running away.
That's what I thought. But there's still one on this side with me, right?
That one's dead.
Okay.
That one that fell right before you there that had the bow, you notice they have a little like pouch on their side. It seemed to have, as if they might have been the leader here of this little squad.
I'll search the pouch. And I'm bummed that I broke the bow because I could have used that, but...
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty poorly made bow.
Yeah.
But in the pouch, you find a gold piece and a little crumpled up note. Do you open the note?
I open the note.
All you see is a very crudely drawn sketch. No, actually, you can just tell that it looks like this is supposed to be Gundren Rockseeker. And down in the corner of the sketch, there's a little inky black spider.
Smooch, is this the symbol of the black spider?
She immediately swoops onto your shoulder and like leans down. She no like.
Okay, well, I want to pick up these shuriken.
Oh man, alright, let's say... I'm just going to roll for that.
Wow.
Nice. In total, you're able to find 12. A bunch that were stored on the one, assuming you go down and search the one as well who fell down by the horses and pulling some out of the trees.
Nice. Well, I guess I'll get Smooch to go ahead and rub her little furry face all over mine to cast Cure Wounds.
She purrs, and you feel so much better.
3. Okay. I shall pursue these goblins.
Okay, like hot on their trail, or did you want to rest a little first?
I guess I'll rest first.
So
I get my pony situated.
Okay.
And take a short rest.
All right. So after your rest, keeping a keen eye on where those other 2 goblins on the left side, the north side of this road, had scurried off, you find their trail pretty quickly, marked right near where they were standing by a little dagger, stuck into a tree about like 2 feet up from the ground with a black feather hanging from it. And you see like about 30 feet ahead, another little black feather like stuck into a tree.
Glad they so clearly marked their trail for me. And I rush off down the trail, arms trailing behind me.
Excellent. Okay. As you're rushing down the trail, however, make a dexterity saving throw. As at the last second, because you're going so speedily, you notice a snare trap on the ground.
21.
And at the last moment...
Deftly leap over it.
Yeah, although you had triggered the trap, you leap out of it and shring up in the tree. A snare tightens and flings up into the air. But you're fine. Do you continue your pursuit?
Yep.
Okay. After maybe a mile or so of running, you come to another but more obvious trap in the distance here. Clearly a large covered patch on the ground. Looks like they had probably set up some kind of pit trap that you just deftly leap right over and continue, eventually coming to a cave. Following the goblin's trail, you come across a large cave in a hillside about 5 miles from the scene of the ambush. A shallow stream flows out of the cave mouth, which is screened by dense briar thickets. A narrow, dry path leads into the cave on the right-hand side of the stream.
I will do some reconnaissance. Does it seem like there could be any creatures right near the mouth of the cave?
Yeah. I mean, looking right around, specifically like trying to keep an eye out for guards, you notice that some of the thickets on the right-hand side of the entrance don't look very natural. Like it looks like they've been propped up in a way as to conceal potentially where some people could be looking out.
I hide in the underbrush nearby.
Make a stealth check. Whoa.
I phase out of existence.
With a crit there.
20.
Okay. And do you want to wait there for a while or something? Watch the entrance?
Yeah.
Okay. And so after about a half an hour from that clearly artificial guard post there, you see one goblin kind of waddle their way out and go into the cave. And then a few minutes later, come back out.
Only one. That's easy enough. I throw a shuriken at it. Shing!
Okay. As it's coming out of the cave, yeah, you can roll with advantage. Just not expecting this.
Crit.
Okay, I mean, you kill it.
Yeah.
And so as you attack this one with your little shuriken. It just impales it right in the chest, and with a small gasp, this frail little goblin collapses on the ground. But from the thicket, you hear a shriek, and then a second goblin runs over to that dead one and immediately looks your direction and is going to try to whip a shuriken of its own at you. Ha! For a total of 16 to hit.
I catch it. No, I can't do that yet.
But you just tilt your head out of the way at the last second. Just go ahead if you want to attack it.
Yeah, I run toward it and attack.
Close the distance with your blade.
Yep. 19.
19. That's a big hit.
8 damage.
Yeah, you immediately kill it. These guys are very weak. You're there at the mouth of the cave. It looks quite dark inside, but with your dark vision, not too much of a problem for you. Or Smooch.
I begin to tread carefully into the cave. Not quickly, with arms trailing behind.
And as you do, make another stealth check, because before it was hiding, now you're like moving silently. Now you're stealth squatting Skyrim style.
That's 11.
Okay. As you're creeping inside, you can hear, even over the sound of the rushing water, what sounds like some animals, perhaps wolves. You can smell them on a chamber to your right. Let me just describe 1 second. You can see like that the stream continues straight ahead and then kind of curves off to the right, maybe 40 feet under what looks like a bridge, maybe 20 feet above the stream. The cavern walls in here are all about 20 feet high. And yeah, so now you've noticed this passage on your right side that sounds like it has some animals in it. And there's also a passage on your left side that looks like it's just kind of packed with rubble, but that you could probably get through it.
Smooch urges me onward. I think I will continue forward. I'm trying to sneak my way past that opening where the beasts are. How deep is the stream?
Not deep enough to fully submerge yourself in.
So I'll just try to move as quietly as I can past where the animals are.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say with your monkish stealth, you're able to just make one quick, right past the opening, as it's not too wide.
Okay.
Unnoticed. Toward that bridge, and you see, although it looks like they haven't yet spotted you, another goblin stood atop this bridge, being a lazy lookout.
Just one?
Looks like just one.
Let me go back to where that passage was filled with rubble.
Okay.
And you said it looked like I could clear some away?
Yeah, it looked like it would just be a little tough for you to scramble over it. Smooch would have no problem just being able to fly near the cave ceiling. And
I send Smooch to peep through and see if there's anything on the other side.
Make a stealth check for Smooch.
21.
Whoa. Silent as death itself. Smooch, with the scent of the black spider and a thirst for blood, but without making any sounds, kind of quietly soars up to the top of that rubble pile, which seems to connect to another chamber, and she reports back to you then. Meow, 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 meow. And you
which
know
I
that means...
perfectly interpret to mean...
There's a pretty large chamber on the other side of this. In that large chamber, there seem to be 6 goblins resting, kind of eating, tending a fire. One of them is also seated near a human in armor, and the goblin seemed to have been kind of toying with his sword. But that human was restrained up to a stalagmite on the ground.
Did Smooch recognize that human?
Actually, yeah. She would have known that was Sildar Hallwinter, who traveled with Gundren.
Sildar Hallwinter, who traveled with Gundren. Is that what you say, Smooch?
Yes. And the last thing that she reports back to you was that there was a passage from this large chamber turned to the right that looked like it might curve back toward the bridge.
Okay. Well, first we have to rescue Sildar. So I want to crawl my way quietly as possible through that opening. Okay, so there's 5 goblins in the lower area, 1 goblin and Sildar on the upper side. And the goblins in the lower area, aren't paying attention. They're just resting.
Now as you look closer, they're just snacking on some roasted meats maybe telling some jokes, one of them dozing off a little bit.
Okay. And the one that's up there with Sildar seems alert.
Yeah, seems to be just kind of like watching Sildar,
Okay.
who looks pretty weary himself.
I will throw a shuriken at the one that looks alert.
Okay.
So that's 23 to hit, 9 damage.
Yeah, with 9 damage this time, it just right in his forehead. That one falls back, the sword clatters to the ground. Sildar immediately gasps.
Smooch is up there cutting his ropes with her little kitty claws.
Okay, so she immediately flew over and started gnawing at the ropes around him. And those 5 goblins down by the fire immediately like spring to action and, you know, with their dark vision can see you still kind of perched up on the rubble up above. And, I mean, that was a surprise round, so roll for initiative.
20.
Yep, so you're still going first, so you get another action here before they all can go.
I jump up and slide down the rubble into where the goblins are. And I strike the first one quickly with my ninjato. And 9.
9 does not hit.
Okay, unarmed strike. 22.
Nice.
10 damage.
So the first one ducked under your blade, but you immediately just like followed it up with a kick.
Kick it in half.
And just like you hear the cracking of its weak little goblin ribs under the force of your blow as your sheet flourishes around you in the cave, in the cold cave air.
I spend a key point for Flurry of Blows.
Wait, isn't Flurry of Blows your bonus action?
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, like I don't think you can do the unarmed and...
Well, then I would have already spent a key point to do 2 unarmed attacks instead.
Okay.
So like that first one was the first part, and now I'll
Gotcha.
make a second one.
So we're in Flurry of Blows, making a second attack on another goblin.
I've never played a monk before, so... Natural 1.
Oh no! Roll a d4.
2.
You slip but catch your balance. You don't hurt yourself, but you don't also like fumble into anybody else. All right. And the 4 remaining goblins down here are going to act now. 2 of them rush at you with daggers, black feathers tied to them. That's a 14 to hit and a, 13 to hit.
2 misses.
Okay. With those 2 positioned on either side of you, one of them quickly like scurries over behind you and with advantage is going to try to get a sneaky blow, and that's a 22 to hit. So this one plunges its dagger through your sheet for a whopping 6 piercing damage.
Shit, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a very advantageous strike. And the last one is going to try and toss a shuriken towards Smooch.
No, Smooch.
Ooh, and that's a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. How many hit points does Smooch have? 7?
7.
She takes 6 damage. Holy crap. Smooch takes a strong blow and basically lands in Sildar's arms just as she had finished cutting the rope. It's your turn.
Okay, well, first thing Smooch is gonna do is cast Healing Word. Is that only one creature?
Yeah.
Okay, she casts it on herself. Meow, meow, meow. Healing 5 points of damage. And then I am going to angrily attack the one. Is the one that attacked Smooch within melee range?
They're right in front of you. Okay. Yes.
I attack that one first with my ninjato. 19.
Hits.
7 damage.
It's dead as
Yeah.
you flop its head right off and it bounces on the cave floor.
Okay, spend another key point for 2 more flurried blows.
Oh my gosh.
I have to do another short rest after this. 17.
Okay, yeah, that's a hit.
8 damage.
And a kill as you just palm one and stop its heart.
And 15
15 hits.
for another 8 damage.
So like leaning out hand to the one, you just immediately like crush its ribcage from the front and then kind of like donkey kick behind you at the other one and just send it through the air, bang, right into the ledge like beneath where Sildar is. And you hear its skull crack on the ground. There's still one right behind you and it's going to see the crazy shite show unfolding here, and it's going to use its bonus action to disengage and rush out over that rubble as fast as it can and just scream out into like the main passage with the stream.
Shit.
So he's like standing up on the rubble still, like within your sight and range. And with that, Sildar is actually going to stand up and quickly grab his sword and just kind of like give a soft kick to the goblin that was holding it, and then look at you and say, "Looks like you've caught up to us."
Looks like I have.
Yes, this man looks to be in about his early 50s. He has kind of like graying blonde hair, tattered armor. He looks like really dirty, like he's been treated very poorly for at least the last 24 hours, but has probably seen worse times than this. He's a tough guy.
Where's the guy you were with?
Gundren, yeah. I think these goblins took him to another site. I heard them talking about, well, first of all, their leader, Clarg, a big bugbear, off in one of the other chambers. I haven't seen the whole place, but I don't think Gundren's with him. I think they took him and his map elsewhere.
Okay, then we should get out of here before more goblins come.
Okay, and
while saying that, I want to like toss a shuriken at the one who's screaming.
okay, yeah, let's say that's pretty much enough for an action. Just roll to hit it.
Ah.
Ooh, natural 1. It just, lands in the pile at its feet, and he looks down at it, sees that, and then just kind of like hops into the air and like slides down on his butt down the rubble pile toward the stream, and you hear him like splashing in there, and then you hear just like the scurrying and echoing of like numerous other figures. You're not sure how many
let's
in the
just
other
run.
chambers. Yeah, and as you're rushing out of the mouth of the cave, you hear the sound of water all of a sudden swelling up behind you. Make a dexterity saving throw just for yourself. We'll say Smooch is flying above it.
Crit.
Okay.
With a critical save, can I also save Sildar?
He actually was okay on his own.
Okay.
Despite his wounded condition. Yeah, you were both able to just rush out of the cave mouth and like hug either side of the cave wall as this flood, this torrent that once was a small trickling stream just bursts out of the cave mouth. Would have easily flushed and tackled both of you. And then you run away?
Yep.
To fight another day.
Meow.
Arms behind you. Sildar's like, what are you doing?
Me leaping through the tree, all nibbly bibbly from limb to limb.
Yes, Smooch is definitely all nimbly bimbly. Great. All right, well, that's where we're going to wrap it up today, I think.
I like monks now.
Cool. Everybody, thanks for listening, and keep building.